And we're live. What's good, Ohio Cannabis Report family? It's your boy Gerald Moore Jr. just tapping in for a quick live episode today. I mean, it's a lot of stuff going on. Obviously, it is March 23rd. So happy Monday to everybody. Um, I've been busy. I haven't seen me for a few days because my little sister was in town, so I just dropped my little sister off at the airport. So I've been hanging out with little sis all weekend. So again, SB 56 went into effect March 20th. So as of March 20th, you can't go to the hemp store, the hemp dispensary, the head shops. All you can do, you could keep going up to Michigan and obviously do what you do. You could still home grow. Um, you can still go to the dispensaries, the licensed dispensaries. You can still go up to Michigan. But obviously, there are a lot more fines and criminal penalties that come with that now that SB 56 has passed. So one of the interesting things is like I've been on Threads. So I don't know how many of our followers are on Threads, but make sure y'all follow us on Threads. Threads is a version of, or it's something from Facebook, I think, Meta. So I like Threads. Threads is a good little vibe. But there's been a lot of content, obviously, about Ohio dispensaries and SB 56. And it's like, where have you people been? Because we've been talking about this for well over a year now about them changing the cannabis laws. And now people are all like, oh my God, I can't believe. Yeah, they've been working on this. You know what I mean? For well over a year. Where have you been? You know? So we've been, obviously go back in our content. We got tons of content. Um, and we were trying to tell you, I've tried to warn people. Obviously, we didn't get enough signatures to pause it, which again, anybody that's well aware of what's going on would have known that that wasn't uh, feasible, especially in this climate. It was just too challenging. So make sure you go back and watch some of our previous content where we've been talking about all the things happening in the Ohio cannabis landscape. So again, now you have to strategize. You have to go back to the drawing board. Obviously there's a lot of other issues that are going through the state house as well. Obviously data centers is a big topic right now. Energy, electricity costs, utility costs, obviously food costs, gas prices, housing. So there's a lot of things going on. You know what I mean? There's a lot of things going on in the state house. Obviously we got a very corrupt state. We've been in the news heavy for a lot of stuff. Ohio State, the Ohio State, everybody's beloved university, obviously has been in the major headlines related to the Jeffrey Epstein and Les Wexner deal, Donald Trump. And so obviously the president of Ohio State resigned as well because he had inappropriate relationships with a podcaster, got her state money over like $60,000 with Jobs Ohio to talk about military folks and AI, I believe. So it's been a lot of scandals. It's been scandal after scandal after scandal in the state of Ohio, and most people are still fucking struggling. So welcome to the shit show. Ohio against the world, baby. Nah, but so again, I don't know. Everybody has their own agenda. It seems to be like there's a lot of infighting every which way. In the cannabis industry, it seems like there's a lot of infighting, in the grassroots environment. Everybody's just scratching to get a nut. You know what I mean? Then you got obviously the MSOs doing what they do. You got small businesses doing what they do. You got obviously the hemp companies now. You got the home growers, the trappers, complete chaos, right? So again, this is America, right? We're in World War III, bombing shit. Gas prices is high as fuck. I haven't seen the gas prices today, but I'm sure, yesterday it was $3.79. My little sister said in DC, because my little sister just came from DC, so she said it was $5 in DC. So that's also why, y'all gotta understand like how I talk, because like my little sister always, when I give around my people, they always give me my energy boost. But we just different, we're just different. We're just different. What's up? We got my guy Rodney Hash. Look at the dispensary near you and tell me Many concentrates bring over 70%. Also, no Democrats supported the referendum. Then they are turning around now and using it as a talking point for office, shaking hand or rights. Well, that's always the case. That's always been the case. And until people step up and realize these politicians work for themselves and they work for big businesses and they work for their interests, you have to hold their feet to the fire. You have to hold them accountable. You know what I mean? On whatever which way you sit. You know what I mean? Like at the end of the day, like Republicans are in office, right? They have money, they have resources. They should be allocating that money and resources to making things better. You know what I mean? Like in all different aspects. You know what I mean? Like so yeah, Democrats don't have like a lot of power. So yeah, they're going to use it as a bargaining tool now. But the Democrats don't have any message. You know what I mean? Like what is the message of the Democrat, right? At the end of the day, you're not speaking up for working class people. You know what I mean? And so the Democratic class has been compromised by elitist, corporate America as well. And APAC, right? Like I'll say it. The Israel lobby, I mean, has the entire top of the Democratic ticket. You look at Congress, they're all funded by, you look at Ohio's, Columbus's, you look at Cleveland, all APAC money, right? So again, they're defending things and sending resources to another country. Like at some point, you got to wake the fuck up. Like, and that's on everybody. You could talk shit online, but what are you doing to actually talk to these people and ensure that your community understands what's going on? Because there's a lot of poor white communities in Ohio, and it's like y'all been Republican for 20 plus years. That's on y'all. Like y'all fucking up out there. That's just, at least the Democrats, like city, I'm good. But you get to some of these rural areas, I'm like, this shit is fucked up. I lived in Muskingum County. I lived in Athens County for fucking damn near a decade. So I know, coming from a major city. So I was out there like culture shock because they don't even have basic shit that was considered basic to me was not basic out there. And I was like, just like a way of life. Like if you don't have Wi-Fi, how the fuck are you living? What do you mean you don't have high-speed internet in 2015, 2012? What do you mean there's an opioid epidemic and there's no healthcare out here? What do you mean? Where are the high income jobs? Like there's no law firms, there's no tech companies. Everything is just warehouses and factories, or everybody just on like government assistance. That shit was crazy to me. Farms. So again, like culture shock, complete culture shock. And that's why like I had to humble myself, right? Like you come out here and you're like, wow, I didn't really know. Again, I grew up in the city. I grew up in the suburbs. So, but then when you see like politically what's happening in like a place like Ohio, and it's like the politics is fucked up. You're voting for something, you're voting for wealthy white men's interests just because you're in alignment with him. Like you don't get the trickle down. You know what I mean? Y'all still going to work for them and they're not paying you as much as you're worth, but you're not fighting them for your value. But then you're going to say, well, these people are coming in, taking our jobs. Like, no, they may work a little bit harder than you. They may work for less money than you, but you're supposed to be the superior class, the superior race. What is the problem here? Why don't you own the company? Like, there's so many issues in Ohio. And everybody's like, well, like, it's a bunch of bullshit, like with the weed shit. Okay. So nobody wants to speak up for social equity, but you're poor. But you don't want to speak up with these other groups of people that are also been hamstrung by the criminal enterprise. But then you want to say, oh, well, we're being misrepresented and mistreated over here. But the people that have been harmed the most behind weed aren't white people. It is poor black and brown people. But now where there's an industry, now it's like, oh, well, we've been hurt too. But we don't associate with those people over there. It's just weird to me. But then you won't call out the people who are controlling the industry. You won't call those people out. You won't confront those people. You won't raid the state house. You won't put Steve Huffman and all these people on blast on your podcast, on your show. You won't call those people and hold them accountable. But those are the people making the laws and the rules. Those are the people that have the control of the state house, and they look like you. They represent your communities. Those are the people you should be confronting every single day. Those are the people you should be holding the feet to the fire. Put the podcast in front of them, put the mic in front of them, put the camera in front of them. Let's hear what they have to say on the record perpetually, while you grill them and ask them why they aren't supporting certain initiatives. I have a nonprofit in Springfield that it is a struggle to get money for because the people who are the face are Black men. But we're trying to feed everybody. We're trying to feed poor white people, poor Black people too. But just because we're the face of it, it's like, oh, well, we're not going to give them the money. They talk too reckless. Like, so then it's like you fall back. But then it's like, if I work for just mine, well, why you just work for your people? Like, because y'all not helping. Like, it shit gets crazy, man. It gets crazy. If Amy Acton spoke about the referendum 45 days ago, all the talk you are seeing right now would have happened. I haven't even seen, honestly, so I'm out the loop on that. I have been off the internet for the past 4 days. My little sister was in town, so I'm just now kind of catching up to the chaos, because I knew once March 20th hit, it was going to be pure pandemonium. I was on the gram or social media to see, like, on Threads, like I said. So I see people have been going crazy on Threads. Oh my God. Like, and I was posting some stuff, but it's like, I've been on YouTube for well over a couple years now. Right. So this is nothing new, but again, everybody going to these farmers markets thinking like, oh, everything is peachy keen. Oh, we got our weed. Now we about to be outside smoking. Now it's literally about to be the first summer of issue 2 for real. And you can't smoke outside. So you ain't about to be having none of them festivals. And then what do you think they're about to do with all the money that they took from the social equity fund and put to the general revenue fund? That's about to go to special task force. Like we talked about, Rodney Hash came on here. We talked about the special task force. They about to be dumping hella bread. So you're going to the dispensary, giving them tax money that they're going to put in the general revenue fund. They're going to give that to special task force, police task force, to then now make sure that they're scouring the internet. They're using AI to make sure they follow events, and you're going to be doing pops up. Whoop, whoop, whoop. But niggas, hey, all the street events don't want to support the type of work we're doing, right? The shit that we're doing don't matter. And I've been trying to tell you, like, put that money into spaces that's going to help you work. And we've been trying to get the word out, right? I can't be at every party, every event. I don't want to be at every party, every event, right? But also, like, I see the shit going on. I see the festivals that people are planning and everybody's a part of, and people that are supposed to be advocates. But then when it comes to really advocating, it's like you're not really doing what you're supposed to be doing. You're not really sounding the alarm like you should be sounding the alarm. And we've been sounding the alarm, right? Like, so again, I have a social equity event that I've been planning for months now, because I understood that they were taking social equity out of the bill, which I understood was going to hurt a lot of communities, because that is a lot of money. That's a lot of capital that could go to a lot of different problems in our communities. Workforce development, like healthcare, roads, parks, children's services, mental health services, expungements, small businesses. Like, there's so many different things that money can go to that we had voted for. And so again, everybody's like, oh, why did we vote? Well, you vote because everybody came out and showed that we wanted this, right? Over 57% of people show. So you see well over 57% of the vote. More people voted for issue 2 than voted for Mike DeWine, right? Over 2.2 million, I believe, something like that. Don't quote me. But so it shows you that people in Ohio wanted issue 2. We wanted adult use. We wanted recreational, right? And so that shows, like, all right, people do. And that's what I was on. Like, people want it, but then the fact that, like, we're not, everybody just wants to smoke it, right? But we're not, a lot of people don't see the economics in it outside of selling it, right? It's an industry. The reason I started Ohio Cannabis Report, because I'm like, yo, you have to talk about weed now. You have to have more in-depth conversations. You have to have more interviews. You have to follow the industry and see what's going on. So again, this was a strategy for me. People always call me during the, hold on one second. Yo, I'm on the stream.
Oh, handle business. How about?
All right, later. So that's my CEO from our nonprofit. But again, like, we have the social equity event April 4th, 11 a.m. to 2 p.m., Columbus, Ohio. We only have a few more spots left. So go on Eventbrite. It's a free event. I just ask that you RSVP to the event. We have a great panel lined up. And this is just the first one. Like, I'm just putting together like straight grassroots. So don't come thinking like, oh, we about to change the whole fucking state law with this shit. No, this is literally just a small community conversation just to start having more in-depth conversations in person, not in the forum of, let's say, like a, the big expos they be having. This is very smaller, intimate, like 50 people. We have about 5 panelists. And so it's just real intimate conversations, just to have that more in-depth conversations about like maybe ways that we need to go, what we've seen over the past year, the past 6 years, just to kind of level set in the community, and talk about some solutions for our community. But also hearing from activists, advocates, small businesses, entrepreneurs, medical patients, stuff like that, because I feel like we aren't having enough of those conversations and creating enough spaces, right? Like, there's spaces where it's like, oh, we're having a smoke and paint, we're having a smoke and poetry, we're having a farmer's market, we're having a festival, but there's not a lot of like direct conversation, forum style panel discussion outside of the industry, right? Not from the industry perspective or the government overarching regulation side, right? Just normal community people having conversations in a safe space, right? To do that. So, thank you to our supporters. I mean, we've got some really good supporters. So we got Always Athens, which is a podcast that is a community supporter. We got Ohio TV. They're going to do our media, and one of their hosts, who's a brand ambassador, cannabis industry. She's a producer. So Ebony Hempress Bree is going to be our moderator for the event. We got Anthony Riley, who runs Ohio Cannabis Live and Ohio Cannabis Expo. He's going to be on. He's a medical cannabis patient. We got Ohio Boys. They're supporting Ohio Health Clinic is a community sponsor and supporter. ACLU Ohio. I just connected with them, and so they're actually going to be a social equity sponsor. So shout out to ACLU Ohio for sponsoring and supporting. We have reached out to a few politicians. I do need to reach out to Amy Acton, though, that I've seen that she talked about that. So I'll reach out to her team. And so, yeah, this is a free event, open to the community. So come hear what people have to say. These are people that have been heavily involved in the cannabis space for some time. So, people that have experience on the underground market, legacy market, and stuff like that. So this is just the first one. I'm planning on making it a series. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get it streamed right now. Again, tight budget. Don't have a big budget for this. This is a grassroots, so we do accept donations. If anybody wants to donate, as you can see, you could donate to my Cash App up there. That's my personal Cash App. But all of the stuff that I do, like this whole page is all like, I'm not getting paid for this shit. You know what I mean? Like I haven't done any sponsorships. Again, this was like a passion project. I was a stay-at-home dad, or I am a stay-at-home dad, but it was like just getting shit done. Like, why aren't we talking about this shit at scale? Right? The state's not talking about it. The cannabis industry isn't talking about it, right? They're not. Who's educating the community? And then people come online, well, you should know this. And it's like, no, like, if you're just such a cannabis savant, why aren't you educating people? That's a business. That's a niche. You know what I mean? Like, if you know everything about weed, you should be using your knowledge to educate people about weed. Don't just be sitting on your fucking pedestal. You know what I mean? A lot of people just want to sit on their fucking throne, right? Oh, I grow the best shit. I'm the best this. I'm this. I grow this. I'm not. Okay. Nobody gives a fuck. Either I want to smoke the weed or I need to learn about the weed. You know what I mean? Like, you just sitting there talking about how good you are. Like, you're not helping nobody. Right? You're not doing anything politically. You're not educating the politicians. Like, who's going to the state house, sitting down with these people, educating them? You have fucking Adrian Robbins, who is the deputy executive director of OCAN, who was just a fucking news anchor 5 years ago. How do you go from being a news anchor to a cannabis lobbyist in 5 years? What the fuck a career transition? What it would be like to be white and blonde. She's not even natural. But that shit is crazy to me. You got motherfuckers locked up. You got motherfuckers' whole families, whole communities been destroyed behind weed. And now, we don't need kids getting a hand on this intoxicating hemp products that are being just sold and marketed to kids in the gas station. Shut your dumb ass up. Got my wife coming to me talking about something. My wife say, you gotta chill. That's my former coworker. I said, is your friend? She said, kinda. I said, I ain't never heard you say that was your friend. Now, if y'all cool, that's cool. But guess what? She fucking with the wrong people. Like, that's on her. Like, she a public figure. Like, if you want to be like that in the public eye, like, I smoke weed for real. So you're not about to come to my end. You're not about to come to this side and be like telling niggas what to do. I just don't agree with that. And I don't think y'all should agree with that. And I think people should be lighting her ass up. Like, who the fuck are you? What's it? J. Cole got a song, Who the fuck are you? Who the fuck are you? Nigga, what? How are you going to come in the industry just off your little high horse, and you know everything about the cannabis industry? Get the fuck out of here. And nobody's going to check you? Not on my watch. Ain't nobody paying me for this shit, so I can say whatever the fuck I want to say. Freedom of speech. Shout out to Afro Man. I still got to reach out to Afro Man, by the way, too. Let me see what. She chose to speak on the 20th. Yeah, you know, that's how people, yeah. We got to hold her accountable. I don't know what side. I mean, didn't you go for Trump? So you got to be talking to Trump, nigga. However, the GOP is definitely more corrupt. At this moment, no, they've always been, bro. It's been 20 years in this state, bro. These motherfuckers are diabolical at this moment. These motherfuckers are diabolical. They do not give a fuck about y'all. If you are poor and white and you are Republican and you the Trump train, I'm sorry. Not sorry. They don't give a fuck about you, my G. They are rich pigs. Rich elitists. They do not give a fuck. Yeah, the Rooster, that's my guy. They all hate kids. That's why they exploit kids. It's also wild seeing pro SB56 cannabis users all over the internet. Yeah, there was a lot of that too, right? Like, oh my God, if you're smoking around kids or you're smoking in parks, like I'm happy for it. But again, that's how Ohio is, right? You got a lot of people that smoke weed, or again, you have people that are on that side as well, right? As long as I have my weed and I can indulge in my weed inside my home, right? In the privacy of my home, nobody really knows. Ohio real sneaky like that. That's why I don't like Ohio, because Ohio people be on that bullshit. I got my weed, like me. I got a house, so I could smoke in my yard. Like, I got a beautiful backyard. I got a nice garage. You know what I mean? I could vape in my crib right now if I want to. You know what I mean? But again, the things that were put in the SB 56, if you're a renter, right? It can be put in the lease and all that shit, right? You can be evicted. Once you get evicted, now it's going to be tougher to find another apartment, right? You can't smoke in your car. Where do niggas smoke? If I can't smoke in the crib, I'm going to smoke on the balcony, or I'm going to smoke outside, or I'm going to smoke in the car. So you literally took everything away from poor people, poor and working class people that smoke, that don't own their home. Now you got to take the risk of consuming in your apartment, consuming outside on the balcony, or consuming in your car, because you don't own your property. So then you gotta risk somebody calling the cops and being like, yo, it's loud out here, they smoking. Now you're gonna come, woo, 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 and that just opens up a whole can of worms. And so that's why I've been yelling and trying to get it through people's fucking skull that this is going to be catastrophic for a lot of people. And I don't think people understand just how, and people be like, oh, it's $150 fine, or it's this, that. Yeah, if you're white, like you're probably not going to get pop for this. You might have the money. You probably have the money. You probably have somebody that can help you out. Most black people are struggling. There was a report, a research report that came out by my McKinsey and Company just last year that said it will take African Americans, black people in Columbus, Ohio, 700 years to catch up to the average white person. So now you tack on cannabis issues all over again. Now, I don't think in Columbus, the Columbus police is going to be on people, right? So we're going to be probably okay in Columbus, right? Like I don't really see too much issue. But it's when you get to these smaller towns, it's when you get to some of these more Republican, very gerrymandered towns. It's what happens if you're driving and it's a back road and woo, woo, woo. It's those intricacies, right? So it's not everybody's going to get popped, but it's going to be people that can't afford to get popped. There's going to be people that don't know the law, right? It's going to be people that aren't tapped in, that's driving around with weed in a baggie. Now you get pulled over because your left tail light is out. You rode through a stop sign. Now you get pulled over. You didn't put your stuff in the trunk. Now you got 3 baggies, and now they're going to be like, oh, attempt to distribute on some bullshit. Or we're going to you're going to give the $400 fine, right? Because now we can racially profile you. Oh, you were driving intoxicated. Because why does it smell like weed? So you must have been smoking in the car. Oh, there's a roach over there. Oh, there's paraphernalia right there. There's a vape pen right there, right? And so now the cops can go in and do further investigation, and now we're pinning more and more stuff on you. Now that 150 or that basic traffic stop has turned into a $500 fine, $1,000 fine, or arrest. And so, yeah, it's not going to affect everybody. It's not going to affect y'all like that. It's going to affect the people that look like this. So again, there's a lot of people on Reddit, a lot of people on the internet. Oh, I'm glad that you can't smoke outside anymore. Blah, 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 blah. But again, you have to be conscious and aware of why some people are doing that. Not everybody has a home to smoke in, consume it. Oh, well, just consume. I just seen somebody on TikTok. Just consume in your car. Well, now that's illegal. Just consume at home. Well, everybody is not a owner. Well, if you don't own your home, you should work harder to own a home. Well, they're not even building enough homes. We have a housing crisis. So again, you're just blaming more and more stuff on poor working class people where your mom and your dad help pay for your down payment on your house. Your mom and your dad is helping pay for your car insurance or your car note. You go on 2 to 3 vacations a year on behalf of your parents. You got a credit card that your parents help pay for. You got to understand, like, some people are hurting in America, and that's a lot of people, even people with good jobs that's living in a house. You fucking one paycheck away from not having a paycheck to being house poor, to being homeless. So a lot of people need to fucking really ground themselves and come back to fucking ground level and realize gas prices is pushing $4. Fucking food prices is pushing hella money. Niggas is trying to lose weight on the GLP-1s and all this type of shit. Like, niggas is stressed, anxiety, Trump doing whatever the fuck he want to do. Niggas is getting sent to war, getting fucking shot out the air by Iran and shit. Like, y'all be bugging. Weed money going back to the GOP so they could do whatever they want to build a fucking drone facility. Oh, well, America, bitch, what are you talking about? Nigga, you niggas is homeless and poor and broke. If you not a billionaire, shut up. Because a lot of y'all protecting billionaires and pedophiles. Like, y'all be so loud for everybody else. Whole time, they showing you who they are, and y'all not busting no grapes. They showing you pedophiles, rapists, molesters, fraud, thieves. Oh, y'all voted for them motherfuckers back to back to back. So if you're going to do that, you got to have that same smoke. You got to have even more smoke. Because if you're going to tell me, well, no. But this is y'all mans. Y'all not gonna hold them accountable, but you want to hold them accountable. No, y'all be wishy-washy. People have definitely been pro 56. I like to hear their argument. There's definitely been some pro. They were in comment anti SB 56 post. Their only real point was getting out of gas stations. Yeah, it was a lot of that. A lot of people don't really know what the bill was, right? Like a lot of people don't even know what SB 56 was, right? So it completely gutted the hemp industry. So all the drinks, hemp products that were being sold, CBD products, Delta 8, Delta 9, whether it was a head shop, you know, I don't really go inside the gas station when I go to a gas station. So I really wasn't aware of all the other stuff being sold in gas stations. I go to the gas station for gas. I might go get some water, but that's just me. You know what I mean? My weed, I was typically getting it from the plug, or so I grew my own. So on that front, the hemp, the only reason I go to a smoke shop is to get papers typically, right? So I think papers, all of that stuff got to be taken out too. So everything basically got to be sold through the dispensaries, through the licensed DCC dispensaries. So, but again, hemp was taken out, combustion. So if you're caught combusting, outside in your car in an apartment that you're renting, like there's a lot of just different stipulations. Going to Michigan, bringing weed back. There's a lot of people like, well, that was already illegal. Yes, but it was between two legal states. It was federally illegal, but between two legal states, Michigan is not enforcing it, and Ohio wasn't enforcing it like that. But now you have to have, explicit packaging. Obviously, you have to have it in your trunk, right? So if you're driving with cannabis, it has to be stored in the trunk. If you don't have a trunk, it has to be in the farthest part of the car behind the driver's seat. So it's a lot of little stuff like that. We'll go over all of the wording later. I got to get ready to go pick up the kids. I just wanted to do a buffer, man, because it's been a few days, and I know things have been crazy with SB 56 going into law. So, but yeah, watch some of our previous videos, man. Like I've been trying to tell people, and I've been trying to push it as much as possible. But again, it's hard to make noise in this space. One, when you're grassroots, I don't have no funders or nothing like that, no big investors. So we're not spending tons of money on production and stuff like that. I'm not spending any money on production besides my time and my internet and my electricity. But again, it's been something that is a labor of love. I like to be able to do it the way that I want to do it. So it's been cool. I've made some good connections, met some cool people. So we definitely gonna keep it going. So we're gonna have this event, and we're gonna keep having more events. So that'll help obviously grow the brand and everything that we're trying to do over here. But I try to keep it as authentic as possible, man, because there's real shit going on. There's industry shit, there's the industry bullshit, there's the policy, and then there's the culture, right? And so right now the culture is being controlled, and then you have people from the culture that are going over, right, taking consulting contracts, or maybe they're able to get into a business and plug in. But I'm seeing a few people that I know that have been able to plug in, but it's still, most of them aren't owners. Like I look at people from the executive level, right? So I'm trying to be on the level of CEO, CFOs, CMO. Like I'm already the president of my nonprofit. So when I have conversations, I'm not truly having conversations with, entry level workers, right? Like when I'm having a lot of conversations outside of this frame, it's executives, politicians, legislators, stuff like that. But a lot of people are afraid of those people, and I try to normalize it, especially since I'm younger. So for me, I feel like a lot of people are afraid of these people, and it's like, bro, they're normal people. Like they just have a title. But if you actually talk to them, and you need an agenda too, because they have an agenda. You know what I mean? And unfortunately, a lot of people's agenda is bullshit, right? Like I know a lot of people want to work in the industry, but then they're like, well, they're not getting paid enough. Yeah, you got to understand what that is, right? Like when you're working at a dispensary, let's say as a bud tender, like it's in and out. You're not even building real relationships, right? So it doesn't really matter. You're just a retail worker, right? So you're on your feet all day. You might be making what, $15, $16 an hour, $17 an hour. But you got to have, obviously taxes. They get tips. I seen they be doing a lot of tips. But then if your dispensary is slow, you know what I mean? So I wouldn't want to work in a fucking dispensary full time. That shit seems cool, because it's fast paced, but as far as the bread, like, and like it's not a deli style, so it's not even like when if I go to the dispensary to do some like in-person research, it's just like it's very just transactional, right? So it's very not the culture of cannabis to me. um so you have that, but then you have people that want to be so private about their cannabis consumption, which again, everybody's allowed to do their own thing, but I feel like there's so many people that are undercover, like potheads or cannabis users, but then like when it comes to being public, they don't want to express it or don't want to support it because, and I get it, everybody has a job, but again, we live in 2026, and so a lot of people are, they want to have their mouth, they want to have their word, but then they want to do things, throw your rock, hide the hand, you know, in a glass house, so it's a lot of that shit too. So not all white people have parents with money. I know that nobody say, but y'all have privilege. Like, it's not about having the money, it's about having the complexion for the protection. So it's about, y'all can move in a different light and y'all not going to be suspect of being a drug dealer. You're not going to be the suspect of moving weight or being a bad person. So y'all get to fly under the radar, but y'all also get to use that privilege to speak up for certain things. You know what I mean? To speak your word without feeling the threat of being shot. You know what I mean? Like, y'all move in gang movement too. So when it's 2, 3, 4, 5, 10 of y'all, it's a gang. Like, that shit is moving in the same direction. Oh, we don't really support Trump, but somehow he co-opted the entire Republican Party now. So there's no pushback against this man. So it's, again, we know all white, that's what I just said. Like, there are poor white people, but poor white people aren't yelling about social equity. Poor white people aren't yelling about the lack of healthcare in their communities like that. Poor people, like, and if you are, you're not doing it in the proper way, because how are y'all struggling? To me, like, if you have 400-year head start, like, how? But then you vote for somebody that clearly doesn't do anything for your community. But I can go to a rich white community. Like, I'd be in the suburbs all the time. So I know how rich white people move. Like, I grew up in the suburbs. I grew up going to private school. I grew up in Washington, D.C. Like, my parents worked for the federal government most of my life. So I've been in all the spaces. I went to a Catholic private school. So I know how y'all move. So I know when y'all want to complain, but it's like, come on, bro. I moved in every space possible. And being an elite athlete, I get supported from a lot of people. So I get backdoor treatment, open the door, like, so I know privilege. And that's privilege from being a good athlete, being married to somebody who's in the public eye. Like, so again, when it comes, like, everybody's not rich or everybody, yeah, okay. So what are y'all doing then? What are y'all doing why are y'all keep voting for people that clearly don't do anything for the benefit of y'all? Why do y'all keep insisting that racism or racist, like, we not doing nothing to y'all? Oh, y'all taking jobs? Okay, we are competitors too. Oh, y'all take over everything? Well, y'all don't take over everything, like, shit. We sending more and more money to Israel, but nobody's complaining about that. Like, y'all should be holding people accountable. Don't come online, go at them. Like, go at the people who actually make the laws. Go talk to them people. Like, y'all don't be talking to them people. Y'all would rather talk shit on Reddit and behind fucking avatars. And it's like, yeah, do y'all actually go to the State House? Because I went to the State House. I go to the State House all the time, and I don't be seeing people speaking up. When we were combating SB 56, there was 30 of us. You know what I mean? So again, even that, it was like, I don't even know what most of them were fighting for. Like, what are you actually fighting for? Like, you can go get a job in the dispensary and it not be a problem. You could probably work your way up to general manager in the cannabis industry. You could probably still grow hella weed in your house and nobody's going to suspect that you have a whole fucking basement full of weed. You know what I mean? Like, nobody says, you driving your Subaru through college towns, dropping off sacks. You know what I mean? Like, nobody suspects y'all of anything. Like, y'all could be living in just normal, basic life, and nobody's gonna be like, oh, he just fell into $250,000. Like, he just fell into $500,000. You know what I mean? Like, he just got a loan from his dad. His grandma died and left the whole fucking kit and caboodle. Like, y'all be falling into shit like that. My friend, one of my best friends was in fucking Muskingum County, poor, family poor. very much so, like working class, big family. This dude, super smart, super brilliant, starts making six figures at Verizon Wireless, moves into a fucking 3,000 square foot studio apartment, buys a brand new Jeep Wrangler Safari Edition at like 23, 24, like full benefits, over 100K, like killing it. Dropped out of college. Now, how the fuck did he do that? Now, like, so then we moved to Columbus. He moved to Columbus. He became a fucking manager for a fucking multi-billion-dollar real estate firm where he's fucking operations over like the whole Franklinton area. He was in Rhode Island. He was in California. And I'm like, nigga, you don't even have a degree. You know what I mean? But people just trusted him because he's smart. He has brains and he was able to move. Now he's working for like a gun distributor or manufacturer. Like he went from the arts to being a gunslinger. You know what I mean? Like white people shit. You know what I mean? So again, like the hell of the trajectory. I mean, Adrian Robbins to go from fucking a news anchor to being the lead voice of the cannabis industry. Like, why aren't people attacking her? She knows not, she doesn't know anything. But she's allowed to go on the news and be like, well, we don't want children intoxicating hemp being sold to children. Like if people are selling intoxicating hemp to children, that should be on the business owners. Don't hurt the whole industry. You don't hurt the good actors. And then most of that stuff was coming from out of state. You have people ordering products from out of state and putting it on their shelves. But now you hurt farmers that we have in state that couldn't even use their own hemp to make their own beverages. Now you force them to now outsource and send their products outside the state. But again, like there's no uproar about all those things, all those intricacies within that. But we'll spend our energy on a lot of other bullshit. More people should be speaking up about social equity. If you're poor and white, social equity affects you in a very real way. If you were harmed by the war on drugs in any way, if you're harmed by the pharmaceutical industry in any way, which a lot of these communities are, you should be speaking up for social equity. Because again, what is an alternative to those harsher drugs, right? That we should be introducing cannabis as a method of getting off of harsher drugs. It's common sense. But we're not having that conversation or discussion. You're not having enough people with the balls to step up and say, no, like cannabis is an alternative to these harsher drugs for people that are dealing with chronic pain. So you can give them these pills all day, and now those pills are going to fuck up something else. Now they're going to need another pill. When then you could take cannabis, and you can take cannabis in the form of a pill, a tablet, a sublingual, a tincture. You could put lotion on. There's so many different applications that one plant, one treatment is going to help with a multiplicity of ailments and illnesses in one person. So then that person can get off of 4 or 5 pills. But guess what? That would make too much sense, right? That would take too much money out of the pill industry. That would take too much money out of the state's pockets. That would take too much money out of the healthcare industry, the traditional healthcare industry. That would take money out of these doctors' hands and industry. But if you don't connect the dots and make people understand that we have to change the system's not going to be able to just adapt. Cannabis is not one of those things where you can just be like, oh, we're going to introduce cannabis. Cannabis is a disruptive. It's a disruptive plant. It's weed, right? Weed disrupts. You know what I mean? So you can't move in weed and be like, oh, tippy-toeing through the weed industry. That's why the whole industry is fake to me. It's like everybody's just tiptoeing around, but oh, we got weed. Oh, we this. It's bullshit. You got white girls. Oh, I'm a legal drug dealer. Okay. But what are you actually doing for the community? Do you actually speak up? Shout out to my girl, Kenzie Cherry, though. You know what I mean? I respect the people that do it. You know what I mean? Because you have to use your privilege. That is your privilege. Your privilege is you can be out front. You can be boisterous about it. And whether people like it or not, you don't care because it doesn't affect you the same. Not everybody has the same, like, again, like some of us have to move different. You know what I mean? But y'all have privilege to use your voice, to use your influence, to speak up to the people at the top. Like those Republicans, if I go and speak my piece, right, just as a normal citizen versus y'all, it's a completely different. They may see something in them. Like they may see themselves in you, right? You may have a story that person can confide in, and now you don't change his heart. So now they may vote a different way. because you done said, oh, you know, shout out to my man Dan the Canna Man. I mean, he had one of the most compassionate and amazing testimonies that I've heard. I mean, and to be that vulnerable to share, you know what I mean, the things that you've gone through in your life, right? And again, a lot of people, that's a very hard thing to do, right? But again, that's where transformation happens, right? That's where change happens. You know, if you just hold on to, you know, these things, and it's like, no, you have a story to tell, and that story could change the heart and minds of people that are in power and influence that may affect everybody else or another community that you don't even know about. And that's why it's important to use your voice. That's why it's important to talk to power. Don't just talk to people on the internet. A lot of people don't even be on the internet. You just be behind a fucking avatar. So nobody even knows who you are. You don't use your real name. Now you can look me up. You can Google me, Gerald Moore Jr. I don't hide. You see all this shit? Like, I am myself. I've always been me. But a lot of people like to hide behind shit and then don't come out in public and don't want to use public, but it'll be online. And I don't do that. It's weird. But then complain. Like, no, go to power. Go to the people that are in power. Like, I started this as a way to give people just an update on what the fuck was going on in the state because nobody else was doing it. Focused on Ohio. It was literally meant to, like, yo, I saw the rooster, all that stuff. Like, it was like, yo, I want to do my own perspective, right? And so I came up with the Ohio Cannabis Report, and then I bought the website, and I started doing shit on Instagram. So again, it's like, just do something. Like, and nobody's telling you to be perfect. Nobody's telling you do something. Some people are doing nothing but complaining or just talking shit. It's like, are you truly adding value to anything that we got going on? Or are you just talking shit and complaining, right? So people have to do better. The community has to do better. Cannabis has always been about community. Accounts mess with, yeah. I mean, you get censored online because at the end of the day, you're talking about something that's federally illegal, right? So we've been censored. I've had pages hacked, but again, that's why you have to do things like email the senators, call the senators, create meetings. Like, it's more than just social media. Like, I do way more than just social media. You know what I mean? I'm emailing state representatives, senators. I'm following the bills. I'm actually reading the bills. I'm actually following legislation on top of being a full-time dad. Like, so again, like, there's ways, and I'm researching, I'm watching news articles, I'm following the cannabis industry, I'm following news articles from what's going on. People send me tips. So again, like, I do this on my spare time. You know what I mean? I've built everything from scratch on my spare time during COVID because, again, my idea was like, oh, well, I would love to be a part of the cannabis industry, but I'm not a grower. I like to smoke. I'm an athlete. I smoked weed since I was 17. So I founded Athletes in Cannabis as a way for people to have discussions and create conversation, and as a way of lifestyle and performance. So then when Ohio legalized, I was like, oh, well, let me start something talking about cannabis because I can't afford $50,000, $100,000 to apply for a license, right? So what's the easiest way to get in the industry without really being in the industry and not really wasting no money? I can create online content. Like, it was just, that was the process. But unfortunately, everybody comes into the industry, how can I make money, right? That is the thing, right? How can I make money? Like, no, I know eventually this is going to grow to the point where I'm able to strategize and make money, right? The events start out small, free events. We already got sponsorships. So now the sponsorships puts money in the bag, right? Then you do consulting, you do this, you do advertising, marketing. And so then you just build it off. But again, if you want to own a dispensary, well, you're going to need $5 to $10 million cash up front. You want to own a cultivator, you're going to need 10 to 20 to 50 million, right? Cash. So again, you're going to be small. Everybody want to do small. Everybody a little drug dealer. Okay, well, you just a side hustle, right? But you're not really building anything, right? Like, I'm a published author. So it's like, become an industry expert, right? If you're an expert in the industry, write a book, right? Like, there are many ways that you can leverage your knowledge and information. You know what I mean? So again, create a YouTube channel. right? Create an Instagram with a niche, right? If you have a niche, a specialty in cannabis that you like to talk about, create an Instagram page or create a YouTube page and talk about that. Create a Substack, write articles. You know what I mean? There's so many different ways that you can leverage what you know, and even what you don't know to build communities, right? I use Ohio Cannabis Report to build community, right? Like I wouldn't probably talk to none of y'all if it wasn't for Ohio Cannabis Report. Like, do we have anything in common? I don't know. You know what I mean? My speaking out was related to federal government, international laws, so no offense. No, you're good. For sure. But it's all connected. You know what I mean? We're at the state level. You know what I mean? And we move at a state level. Again, it wasn't on this topic. I have bigger legal issues to work for. However, as a whistleblower, you speak on a topic that won't get you killed. No offense. Yeah, because I'm not trying to get killed. I like my life. You know what I mean? And there's other people that need to do harsher work than I'm doing because I could get killed walking out my house and somebody don't like me. You know what I mean? Like I get killed for just being black. You know what I mean? So, just for being in the wrong part of town. That's how I move. You know what I mean? My parents work for the federal government, so I know that game. Trust me. But keep doing your work. You know what I mean? Everybody got to play their role. Everybody got things they got. Everybody got their own agenda, which again, I'm doing what I'm doing. I'm doing what God told me to do. You know what I mean? I'm not really, the federal government level, obviously that's outside of my reach. But, my little sister was here and she works on the Hill. So, everybody's moving differently, right? I understand the game that I'm playing. But yeah, everybody has to do something. Like I'm not telling people what to do. Like I don't give a fuck. Do something, right? And this message goes out to the people that do nothing, but just talk shit, right? Like I'm not saying I'm doing everything. Like I'm doing what I can with what I have, the resources, the time, the energy, the capacity, the bandwidth, the finances, right? Like so for me, like I'm doing what I can do, and people are here, right? People view this. Like we've gotten thousands of views, we've gotten hundreds of views, we've gotten followers. This is brand new. I mean, I've only been doing the lives on this page for the last few months. So again, like the reach, I know people are watching, right? Like word gets back to me that politicians don't like what I'm doing or people don't like what I said about them. So I know what I'm doing and how it's affecting different types of people. And that's what I'm working on. I'm in Ohio, grew up in DC. Federal government, every state is different. Every state is operating on a different playing field. Right. So we work with schools, we work with universities, we work with policymakers. There's a lot of work going on. You know what I mean? We work with senators. So as long as everybody's working and collaborating, I think a lot of people do work that can be done in collaboration that could go elsewhere. But we'll be back. Peace.